Hi, my name is Jody, and I met the newborn screenings because my son was born with hearing loss and I was connected with them. So during the pandemic, we have a son who has hearing loss, and he was receiving some services through early childhood with speech and deaf and hard of hearing. But we live in a really remote area, and those services are very difficult to find. So a few of the things that I had to prepare for really was during the pandemic, being so far away, we had to think about how we were going to deliver, which was a little bit of a challenge. And so I had set up, we call them neighbor grandmas, somebody who could come down and watch our older son while we had our little baby. But then nobody was allowed to come into the room except for my husband, and he was only allowed to come and go one time a day. And it was important for us to have a backup for care because our first neighbor grandma was not actually able to come at the time of delivery. And so we had to have a plan B, and thankfully we did, because plan B is what we needed to put in place once a baby was born. Through that process, our son was also able to have more services through the telehealth process, and with continued advocacy, we are going to be able to have in-person masked outdoor visits here soon, which there has never been speech therapy in person up here since I started living up here for early childhood. So that's a huge win. I think even telehealth and teleconferences have really helped, and we were able to not just attend, but we were able to learn more about our child's hearing loss, about connection with other families, and that alone, I think, was a huge win for the specific to my experience with my children's hearing loss screenings. My advice to those people who are afraid to speak up, to advocate, is you can do hard things too. Like, we all can. And change happens when parents advocate, and it happens much quicker if parents advocate. So just practice with the people that you know the best, start to feel comfortable, and then start asking who else you can advocate to get what you're wanting. And many times you'll find, like, every time you ask, it just gets easier and easier. And again, you can do hard things too, because you're awesome. You're a parent, and parents are the best advocates that their child has.